Retailer Pick n Pay has named former head of Tesco's UK business Richard Brasher as its new chief executive. Brasher is set to take over in February next year, ending a roughly 7-month search for a new chief executive. Pick n Pay closed up almost 5% to 45 Rand and 5 cents. On the line now, Ron Klippen, portfolio manager at SA Stockbrokers. For more, Ron, thanks for joining us. Interesting timing of this because you've got Tesco coming out today with the first time profits fallen in 20 years. That was announced in the UK. And then Pick n Pay chooses on the same day to announce that it's appointing ex-Tesco boss as its new CEO. Interesting timing, good appointment, bad appointment. What are your thoughts on the news?
This guy, Mr. Brasher, seems to bring a whole new paradigm to Pick n Pay, which is what is actually needed. He's got international experience. He's got experience particularly in sourcing, which Pick n Pay needs. He's very strong in terms of brands, loyalty programs. Again, a major area of weakness for Pick n Pay, even though they've started Smart Shopper, not making money on that yet. They need something new, something innovative. The previous CEO, Nick Bagmanton, inherited a lot of baggage in the company. In other words, there was a lot to be done, Samantha. They needed DCs, which are the distribution centers. They needed SAP. They needed a smart card. They needed various loyalty programs and the like. And this is all shoved on Nick. He had to run operations as well as do this. Here we have somebody out of the organization that's also very, very important. Previously, you had people being upgraded to the status of CEO within the organization.
Mm-hmm. So not even concerned about, the shock resignation earlier this year and the concerns around some of his failed strategies at Tesco?
Yeah, he appeared to have a period where he was doing pretty well for Tesco. He's been there about 25 years by the sounds of this communique which has been issued. Perhaps he had done all he could within that period and he needed to move on. I think everybody has a period where they actually perform pretty well and then perhaps go downhill for a bit. So he has some new challenges for him.
Well, Ron, thank you so much for joining us. Ron Klippen, portfolio manager at SA Stockbrokers, on the appointment of the new CEO at Pick n Pay. Ashraf, so what did you make of the news? Right man for the job, what do you think?
Well, only time will tell, but let's look at it. He was at Tesco's for 25 years. He was with them through their fastest growing period. They haven't grown much in the last 5 years, but they took a lot of market share from their competitors in the UK. And he can bring some of those strategies into Pick n Pay. Pick n Pay's executive management, effectively since Hugh Herman left, has been pretty much a closed club. They've all started their careers there and pretty much finished it there as well. And maybe this is what you need. What I'd like to see, and I read an interview that Gareth Ackerman did on the weekend, they still feel it's a family-controlled business and it will be managed in a certain way. And I think when that ultimately gets broken, when that chain gets unshackled, that's really when we'll see Pick n Pay moving forward. Because in many ways, it's because of that shackle that they didn't go into distribution centers because it was vetoed. And now they find themselves 4 years behind ShopRite and Spar.
Yeah.
And, playing catch up. They did not go into Africa. ShopRite took some pain 10 years ago, but now they're reaping the benefits. So, there's an upside and a downside to having a controlling shareholder, which they have. And it's always difficult to let go of the business you created. But I think there comes a time that one has to step back. And I think that time has to be now.
Yeah, he really has earned his stripes in the retail space. I think he actually started out as a store manager, so he knows what it's like, at ground level.
The best grocery retailers don't get parachuted in from MBA classes, let me tell you. And so this chap, has had a terrific career. He had a falling out with Philip Clark. But it's a tremendous business, Tesco's, and he's got a reputation. He's a young man. He's only 51. Says me, pushing 50. Young man. But you know, he's still got a lot of time. I'd love to see his job spec, what they've thrashed out. And I think Gareth certainly gets the plot. This is a business, as Ashraf correctly mentioned, it's a family-oriented business, but it's long-sighted. They are looking down the track. I still feel, and I shared this with my clients today, that I think the focus will be on the heartland, getting the home fires burning, as I call it, because if that's really running correctly, you can then look at growth externally. But getting that engine humming domestically will be the focal point. And I think the institutional memory that Richard Brasher will bring will be superb. There's been some mooted comment about, you know, Tesco's taking over Pick and Pay. That was never going to happen. In fact, this is the best outcome, in fact. Fresh pair of eyes, terrific experience. He'll be earning a much lower salary than he was at Tesco's.
Well, we wait to see. We wait to see. You never know because he's been lured here.